What if I told you that the most reliable way to spot the early warning signs of glaucoma, a disease that silently steals your vision without a single symptom in its early stages, might be hiding in a simple 10-second test you can perform right in your own living room? I know, it sounds like one of those viral medical claims you scroll past on social media. But I'm not talking about a trend or a miracle cure. I'm talking about a sophisticated yet entirely practical method rooted in the mechanics of how your eyes actually function. By the end of this video, you are going to understand exactly how glaucoma develops in the shadows, why standard vision tests often miss the mark, and how to use a specific science-backed at-home protocol to monitor your eye health with incredible precision. So, stick with me. This one matters. Hey, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is the place where I dig into the real science behind aging, vision health, and longevity, without the hype, without the scare tactics, and without trying to sell you a miracle supplement. Today, we're tackling something that genuinely shocked me when I started looking at the latest data from ophthalmology research centers. Glaucoma is often called the silent thief of sight. It affects over 80 million people worldwide, and in the United States alone, nearly 3 million people are living with it, many of whom have no idea they are losing their peripheral vision until it is too late. For years, we were taught that high intraocular pressure was the only enemy. If your pressure was normal, you were safe. But recent findings from the Glaucoma Research Foundation and various university eye clinics have shown us that normal tension glaucoma is far more common than we ever suspected. This means that a standard puff test at your annual checkup, while important, is not a complete safeguard. Here is what is changing. Over the last few years, and especially in the last 12 months, doctors have started focusing on functional vision testing at home to catch what the office machines might miss in between annual exams. Let me walk you through exactly how you can monitor yourself. Glaucoma acts like a clogged sink. Your eye is a pressurized ball with a constant flow of fluid called aqueous humor. If that fluid cannot drain properly, pressure builds, stressing the optic nerve, the vital cable of millions of nerve fibers connecting your eye to your brain. When that pressure persists, those fibers die. Because they don't regenerate, the vision loss is permanent. The brain is an incredible compensator that paints over gaps in your vision. You don't see a black spot. You simply don't realize that a portion of your field of vision has gone missing. This is why you can have glaucoma for years while thinking your vision is fine. To catch it, we use a functional peripheral test. Sit 2 feet from a blank wall and focus on a stationary point, like a piece of tape at eye level. While keeping your eyes locked on that mark, do not let your gaze drift. Slowly bring your hands out to the sides of your head and wiggle your fingers. If you can see the movement, you have a baseline of peripheral awareness. To use this as a diagnostic tool, cover your left eye with your palm. Fixate on the center point with your right eye. Observe the clarity. Is it sharp, or is there a shimmer, a blur, or a gray fog? Then, slowly move your fingers inward from the extreme periphery. Are you seeing them at the same time in both the upper and lower quadrants? Why is this so critical for seniors? The aging eye undergoes structural changes that increase susceptibility to pressure fluctuations. In our 60s, 70s, and 80s, the trabecular meshwork, the eye's drain, becomes less efficient. Additionally, changes in blood supply to the optic nerve mean that even normal eye pressures can cause stress. It's like a structural beam that is already under-supported. It doesn't take much extra weight to cause a crack. Lifestyle factors also play a role. Sleeping flat can lead to higher intraocular pressure compared to sleeping with the head elevated. Furthermore, strenuous weightlifting, specifically the Valsalva maneuver, can spike eye pressure momentarily. For those with early-stage glaucoma, these daily fluctuations add up to long-term nerve damage. If you notice a consistent blind spot during your home check, don't panic, but do contact your ophthalmologist. Don't just say, "My vision is blurry." Specify, "I noticed a blind spot in the upper outer quadrant of my right eye during a home screening." That actionable information allows your doctor to move straight to specialized visual field testing and optic nerve imaging. To support your eye health, focus on systemic vascular health. A Mediterranean-style diet rich in dark, leafy greens provides lutein and zeaxanthin, pigments that act as internal sunglasses, protecting delicate cells from oxidative stress. Hydration is equally vital. Dehydration makes your blood more viscous, making it harder for tiny capillaries in the optic nerve to receive nutrients. Drink water throughout the day and monitor caffeine intake, as large doses can temporarily spike intraocular pressure. Aerobic exercise, like walking, swimming, or cycling, is also highly effective. It improves the efficiency of your vascular system, helping your body regulate fluid pressure more effectively. Finally, manage screen time. Staring at screens reduces your blink rate by 60 to 70%, drying the eye and creating inflammation. Follow the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds to reset your focus. Also, consult your pharmacist about your medications, as common drugs like antihistamines or corticosteroids can impact fluid drainage. Now, let's talk about the science behind why this test works so well. The reason we focus on the periphery is that glaucoma, unlike macular degeneration, which attacks the center of your vision, is a disease of the edges. It starts in the mid-periphery and slowly inches its way toward the center. This is why the central vision check you might do by looking at a clock or a book is essentially useless in the early stages. You could have 20/20 central vision and still be in the early to mid stages of glaucoma. The test I described, the movement of the fingers, is a version of a confrontation visual field test. Neurologists and ophthalmologists use this test in the office to quickly screen for neurological or ophthalmological deficits. When you perform this test on yourself, you are looking for symmetry. The human visual system is remarkably symmetrical. If your left eye sees the movement at 90 degrees out, but your right eye doesn't see it until 70 degrees, that is an objective, measurable difference that deserves a conversation with your specialist. Let's talk about normal tension glaucoma for a moment, because this is where many people get a false sense of security. About 1/3 of people with glaucoma do not have high eye pressure. Their pressure is consistently within the normal range of 12 to 21 mmHg Chung. So, why do they get glaucoma? It is likely due to the weak link theory I mentioned earlier. If the optic nerve itself is structurally vulnerable, perhaps due to genetics or chronic low-grade vascular issues, it will succumb to damage even when the pressure is technically normal. This is why the puff test is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. In these cases, the at-home awareness becomes even more vital. If you know you have a family history of glaucoma, or if you have thin corneas, which can artificially lower the readings on an eye pressure test, you need to be the one to bridge the gap between doctor visits. I also want to touch on the glaucoma diet in more detail. There is compelling research linking systemic inflammation to optic nerve health. We know that antioxidants, specifically vitamin C, vitamin E, and zinc, are essential for neural health. But there is a specific interest in the role of nitrates, the kind you find in beets and leafy greens. Nitrates are converted by the body into nitric oxide, which is a potent vasodilator. It helps relax the blood vessels and improves blood flow to the optic nerve. By improving perfusion, the actual delivery of blood to the tissues, we may be able to support the nerve even in the presence of pressure fluctuations. Think of it as strengthening the wall. If the nerve is under constant pressure, you want the tissues around it to be as healthy, oxygenated, and resilient as possible. This is the difference between a nerve that breaks under pressure and a nerve that can withstand it for years. I also want to address the hidden stressors. Stress itself, particularly chronic, high cortisol stress, has been linked to increased intraocular pressure. When you are stressed, your sympathetic nervous system, the fight-or-flight response, activates. This system can cause a release of catecholamines, which are hormones that can increase eye pressure. If you are a person who lives in a state of high chronic stress, you are essentially asking your eyes to do more work. Finding your way to calm, whether through deep breathing, meditation, or simple rhythmic walking, is quite literally an act of eye protection. And let's talk about the sleep angle again, because this is often ignored. Recent studies in 2025 and 2026 have highlighted the sleep pressure connection. For some people, the position of their head during sleep is a major factor. If you are a side sleeper, the eye closer to the pillow can sometimes experience different pressure dynamics than the eye facing outward. For the vast majority of people, this isn't an issue. But for the small percentage of the population that is already teetering on the edge of glaucoma, a simple adjustment, like using a slightly firmer pillow or elevating the head of the bed, can make a measurable difference in the pressure readings throughout the night. It is worth noting that we are moving toward a future where smart contact lenses may be able to monitor our eye pressure 24/7. These devices, which are currently in clinical trials, would be able to send data directly to your doctor's smartphone, showing them exactly how your pressure fluctuates when you are asleep, when you are stressed, and when you are exercising. We are not quite there yet for the general public, but it is coming. In the meantime, the best smart device we have is your own awareness. I want to emphasize again, do not let this information become a source of anxiety. Anxiety is not the goal. The goal is to move the conversation from, "I hope my eyes are okay," to, "I know my eyes are healthy because I am actively supporting them." When you look at your family tree, ask yourself, do I know if anyone had vision issues? Often, we hear that a grandparent was just going blind or had bad eyes, without ever knowing it was glaucoma. If that is in your history, you have a reason to be proactive, not a reason to be worried. You have a reason to get your annual comprehensive eye exam, which includes dilated fundus photography, and you have a reason to keep up with these home checks. There is something deeply profound about realizing that we are not just observers of our own aging process. We are the architects. We choose the foods that fuel our optic nerves. We choose the habits that calm our nervous systems. We choose to pay attention to the subtle signals our bodies send us every single day. That is the essence of longevity. I've had people ask me about supplements for eye health, and I have to be very clear, the supplement market is a minefield. You will see ads for glaucoma-curing vitamins. There is no such thing. There is no pill that will replace the need for professional clinical management if you have high eye pressure. However, if you are looking for evidence-based nutritional support, look for the AREDES2 formula, which has been extensively studied for age-related eye conditions. It is a baseline, a floor, not a ceiling. Always, always check with your doctor before adding supplements to your routine, especially if you are on blood-thinning medication. Let's also talk about the digital strain one more time. We are living in a world that is designed to keep our eyes locked on screens. That screen time is the enemy of blink rate and natural eye moisture. If you can, take your screen usage outside or near a window. Natural light is essential. Studies have shown that even short periods of time spent in natural, outdoor light can help regulate the dopamine levels in the eye, which helps keep the eyeball's shape and health in check. It is one of the simplest, most effective, and most underrated health hacks for your vision. I want to further explain by encouraging you to look at your environment. Are you in a place where you can easily go for a walk? Do you have access to a variety of fresh, colorful vegetables? Can you manage your sleep environment to be dark and quiet? These are the building blocks of eye health. They seem disconnected from the eye, but they are the literal foundation upon which your visual system rests. You are doing the right thing by watching this. You are taking the time to learn, to think, and to prepare. That is exactly what being a health-conscious senior is all about. Keep that curiosity alive. Keep asking questions. And most importantly, keep looking at the world with the clarity that you are fighting to protect. If there is one thing you take away from this entire conversation, let it be this. Your vision is not a fixed asset that slowly depreciates. It is a biological system that responds, adapts, and survives based on how you treat it. Every morning, you have a choice. You can eat the fiber-rich breakfast that keeps your blood sugar stable, or you can skip it. You can take that 20-minute walk, or you can stay on the couch. You can blink and breathe and look into the distance, or you can stare and strain. Those choices are not little things. They are the bricks you are using to build your future. I truly believe that we are going to see a massive shift in how we approach vision health in the next decade. We are moving away from fixing it after it breaks and toward maintaining it before it fades, and you are at the front of that shift. Health outcomes often depend on the resources and awareness available to specific populations. In the U.S., nearly 3 million people have glaucoma, and the risk is not distributed equally. According to the CDC, African American and Hispanic populations face a significantly higher risk than others. Specifically, African Americans over 40 have a much higher prevalence and are more likely to experience early vision loss. For these groups, proactive screening is vital. Globally, glaucoma is the leading cause of irreversible blindness. The WHO estimates that by 2040, cases will rise to over 111 million, driven by aging populations. These aren't just statistics. They represent millions of individuals who could preserve their independence with earlier detection. Disparities in diagnosis remain a hurdle, as many in underserved communities lack access to comprehensive eye exams. This highlights the importance of the at-home testing methods we discussed, not as a clinical replacement, but as a crucial bridge. By empowering individuals with simple, low-cost diagnostic tools, we can fundamentally change these outcomes over the next decade. By understanding these risks and taking ownership of your health through consistent monitoring, you are doing more than just protecting your own sight. You are actively contributing to a culture of preventative health that benefits everyone. Knowledge is the first step toward change, and I truly hope that this video has provided you with the tools you need to take that step today. Remember, the goal is always empowerment. Whether in a high-risk group or simply staying ahead of the aging process, the principles remain the same. Monitor your baseline, maintain systemic health, and keep an ongoing dialogue with your eye professional. Your vision is worth the effort every day. The journey toward better health begins with consistent actions that compound over time. By staying observant, eating nutrient-dense foods, managing stress, and embracing home screening habits, you are building a resilient foundation. Do not wait for symptoms. Proactive care is your most powerful tool against preventable vision loss. Stay curious, stay diligent, and remember that you possess the agency to shape your own long-term health outcomes. Before I sign off, I want to address one final, very common question. What if I wear glasses? Does that make the test harder? The short answer is, take your glasses off for the test. You want to assess the integrity of your own field of vision, not the quality of your prescription. If you are severely nearsighted or farsighted, the peripheral view might be slightly distorted, but the core principle of the test, identifying symmetry, remains the same. If you are ever unsure, just mention it to your optometrist at your next visit. They can perform a Goldman visual field test, which is the gold standard and will give you definitive answers. And one more thing, if you have had eye surgery, like cataract surgery or LASIK, you should definitely check with your surgeon before starting any new eye exercise routine. They know the specifics of your procedure and can tell you if there are any restrictions you need to be aware of. We are all in this together. The science of aging is constantly evolving, and I am here to help you navigate it, one video at a time. Take care of your eyes, and I will see you in the next one very soon.